Hey everyone, happy Monday. Middle-earth, a land mastered by elves, men, and honest hobbits. Or is that what you're supposed to think? Far beneath the surface lurks a dark secret, a vast conspiracy that controls all the gold, the kingdoms, and even the very fate of Middle-earth. Who pulls the strings? The seemingly affable dwarves. Yes, the dwarves, the so-called earnest miners, are actually the puppet masters of every war, every kingdom's rise and fall, and every terrible storm on Karathras. Even Tolkien knew that demonic forces were behind the dwarves, the truths revealed in his appendices, if you read them upside down and backwards. Today, I'm going to expose the dwarves, even though the powers that be tried to stop me. See, they don't want us to notice all these horrible things happening across Middle-earth that just always seem to involve dwarves. Oh, but there shall be noticing. But first, this video is brought to you by LordVPN. Click my link down below for 30% off your first year of safe browsing. Even the dwarves can't track you if you use LordVPN. Now, the dwarves claim to be persecuted and oft exiled homeless wanderers. For instance, they say they were forced to roam after their halls at Erebor were torched by dragonfire. Then they returned generations later, rebuilt giant fortresses right on top of the old ruins, and expected everyone to think, oh, this is fine. Take the mountain. It's your ancestral homeland according to ancient myth after all. Oh, and why did they go to Erebor in the first place? The official story is that they dug too deep into the mines of Moria and awoke a sleeping Balrog, who demolished the realm, all because they couldn't curtail their unhinged gold lust. That's not disputed by anyone, but that's also not the full story. Joining us now is Professor of Middle-earth Studies at Columbia University, Kurt McJackson, author of the books The Thousand Years' War on the Orcs and Solving the Dwarf Question, the case for arming the orcs. Kurt, thanks for joining us. Could you share a bit of what you've learned about the Fall of Moria?
Thanks for having me. Yes, through my research, which includes years of examining primary sources and gazing into a palantir, I've discovered convincing evidence that the Fall of Moria was a controlled demolition. Additionally, studies show that a Balrog's fiery whip cannot destroy the living rock of the Misty Mountains. I think it's likely the Balrog was planted by the dwarves themselves to make the fall look more convincing. The dwarves wanted to destroy Moria so they'd have an excuse to colonize Erebor and other resource-rich lands down the line. I mean, it's no surprise that a few centuries later, the dwarves came back to Moria claiming a right of return.
Absolutely stunning facts. Thank you, Kurt. And by the way, let me just say, I personally believe you are truly America's most important living historian. So there you have it. Follow the gold. Erebor, Moria, the Iron Hills, all ancestral homelands that just happen to end up in dwarven hands, despite all of the anti-dwarf persecution. I think not. If there's gold under your kingdom, chances are the dwarves are going to find a way to make an ancestral claim to it. Dwarves constantly play the victims. Oh, the dragon took our gold. The goblins chased us through the misty mountains. Poor us. Wah, wah, wah. But if they are truly such victims, why do they always seem to come back richer than before? Industriousness? Yeah, maybe. Or, and go with me here, manufactured chaos. As the story goes, Smaug burned Erebor and Dale and stole the dwarves' gold. Thus, the dwarves were the victims, just as the humans in Dale, so they couldn't have had anything to do with the destruction, right? And then hundreds of years later, Smaug burned Lake Town after he was disturbed from slumber by Bilbo. Oh, and who else? Oh, that's right, the dwarves, who were trying to steal back their mountain and their gold from Smaug. Here's the thing. In both instances, how did the villagers rebuild? Oh, well, hard work and the spirit of entrepreneurship, of course. No, absolutely not. You want to know what happened? The dwarves loaned them resources and gold with crushing interest, of course. That's the MO of the dwarves. The mithril coat Thorin Oakenshield gave to Bilbo, the one that's worth more than the entire Shire. It wasn't a gift. It was collateral. Gimli in the Fellowship? Not a friend. An overseer. Making sure the Fellowship did as they were supposed to do, and that all the gold flowed back to the Lonely Mountain after the fighting and the masses of bodies were cleared away. Yeah. And then, after the Lake Town disaster, the dwarves dragged men into battle with Smaug for their own sake, resulting in the Resistance Dragon's murder. And after all of it, who ended up being declared both the hero and the victim and sitting on all the gold? That's right. Again, the dwarves. In sum, the dwarves don't just hoard and set up false flag attacks. They arm many kingdoms of Middle-earth so they can get other races to fight their wars for them. And as much as the people of Middle-earth love to rebuke Smaug for what they term his wanton violence, I'd urge them to consider that the violence didn't start with the burning of Lake Town. No, there was hundreds of years of dwarven terrorism in the lead up to it. The burning of Lake Town was merely a reaction and a decolonization project. Anyway, almost as soon as the dwarves moved back into the empty Lonely Mountain, it was all of a sudden nothing but mines and treasure vaults once again. As it said, the dwarves, they make barren rock bloom with gold. And when the neighbors complained that the dwarves barged in and stole the land and resources from them, once again, ancestral claim. Classic. By the way, feel free to disagree with me. Tell me where my facts are wrong. I will always admit when I'm wrong. But come on, you can't refute me, because these are just indisputable truths that the dwarves don't want you to know. Next, let's talk about the runes on the walls of Moria, the vast and mysterious dwarven kingdom. What I'm about to share is exclusive information, and we are breaking it to you here. And the reason we know about it is we received an email from an anonymous descendant of Thorin Oakenshield who says she is willing to spill all the dark secrets her family has long kept buried. As it turns out, those runes didn't contain epic tales of dwarven feats. If they were decoded from Sindarin, one would discover that they were ledgers that tracked secret accounts and sources of capital. The dwarves disguised the runes in their native script because the money the runes keep record of is all plundered, extorted, and otherwise stolen. Gandalf only read the runes at the doors of Moria, which contained a password to open the doors. Had he read literally any other runes in the dwarven domain, he could have discovered the truth. Why do you think every dwarven kingdom is so closed off to the outside world, buried beneath mountains, secured behind massive walls and hidden doors? Who is trying to get them? Dragons? Come on. They're the ones who are waking the dragons and starting all the wars. They just want to keep you out so you can't see everything they've stolen and the evil things they're plotting to do next. Look, there's going to be a lot of people who get angry at this video. I'm sharing the truth, a truth that isn't supposed to be shared. Just wait. As soon as I publish this, the bots will pour into the comments calling me anti-dwarf. Ridiculous. Some of my best friends are dwarves, and they agree with me. The reason the bots are going to be sicked on this video is because the evil dwarves just want to scare you away from hearing the truth. I'm not anti-dwarf at all. Real dwarves don't do these things. They don't hoard gold and steal resources. The dwarves I've discussed in this video belong to specific demonic and bloodthirsty dwarf sects that don't reflect real dwarven culture and the mainstream dwarven clans on Middle-earth. The only demonic dwarven clans are the Longbeards, the Firebeards, Broadbeams, Iron Fists, Stiffbeards, Blackfoots, and Stonefoots. So maybe barely more than 95% of all dwarves. That leaves plenty of other dwarves who are great. So the next time you're told that dwarves only lie, cheat, steal, and manipulate the fate of all beings on Middle-earth because they've been persecuted for ages, don't accept it. And don't let them buy your silence either. We have now exposed Middle-earth's darkest secret. Knowledge is power, and power threatens the powerful. So be careful. Anyways, I'm American Ben, my friends. Stay vigilant, watch the mines, don't trust dwarves, and keep noticing.